Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Happy New Year to everyone. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, you are still here in 2022, and we're glad to have you. My good brother and friend is back on the show with us today, Mr. Osei Hutchinson. So we're going to give him as much opportunity to share with us on today. So we're going to dive right in to our shout out so we can get him on the show with us. The first thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of the healthcare heroes that are on the front line taking care of all of our loved ones. There's, no end in sight with this terrible disease that's going around making people sick and killing people. Just news flash, we saw on the news like about an hour ago, within the last hour, that the mayor of Chicago has been confirmed as having COVID now. So don't know if she's having any symptoms or anything like that, but she is definitely confirmed as having COVID. So I want to encourage everyone to proceed with caution. I give shout out to our healthcare professionals and heroes every time I go live. I want them to know that I am thinking about them, and I thank them for all of the hard work that they are doing to keep our loved ones alive. So this thing is not over with, y'all. So please, take this thing seriously. Wear your mask, keep your distance, and try and not contaminate other people if you are confirmed to be sick. That's another important part of this. Keep your distance and do not try to get anybody else sick because you think it's little or nothing. Okay, be courteous of other people. Okay. Also, want to give a shout out to all of our spiritual leaders that are on the front line. They have been keeping us informed on what's going on and what to be careful of and how to proceed with caution. Special shout out to my spiritual mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt has been on this show back in November. You need to go check him out. I also have many videos located on my YouTube channel with Dr. Hunt. So go check him out. He's got some powerful words of wisdom for us. Shout out to Miss Angelique. She's watching, and my brother Enoch is watching. Thank you for coming on board. We appreciate you. We're going to move over here and moving right along. I want to invite everybody to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, we want you to browse around, check out what's going on. You'll see some of my advertisers, our RJ Webb. If you have a desire to put a website together, he can help you. If you got a broken website, he can help you. Also, Prince Hunter Financial Group. He's offering 4 free classes to teach you to learn how to trade the Forex, trade the stock market. He's giving 4 free classes. Click on the tab, the banners. It'll take you right to his website. Call him up and say, hey, I want my 4 free classes. And you be on your way to learning how to get into the stock market or the Forex market and creating your wealth for you and your family. Also, you'll see a banner for Port Again Sam. Port Again Sam has been with me, oh my God, for almost 15 years now. And he brings in some of the best wine and spirits from all over the world. Click on the banner, go over to his website, um, you know, make a reservation for a wine tasting. You will not be disappointed. I tell you, he is bringing it in from all over the world. And I promise you, he will have something that you like. Also, you'll see a plugger for Synergy, but we're going to talk about them a little bit more as we get our guest on the show today. And I can't call him a guest because he's been on the show so many times. He is family, so he has been around the world. He has been doing such great work in the community. He has been, man, I can't even tell you all of the positive things, when I call his name and mention his name in certain circles, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Osei, yeah, yeah, that's the brother there, and I have the honor and the privilege of being able to call him my brother and my friend, so I'm glad to have him on the show once again. Welcome back, my brother, Osei Andrew-Hutchinson.
It is my honor, Dr. Ron, my honor to be here. How you
Man,
been? How you doing?
I'm glad to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm not even gonna shuck and jive. I'm just gonna
Yes,
put
sir.
your business out there.
Yeah, it is. Go
You
ahead. Let's
know,
go
look,
for it.
look,
Let's go
look.
for it. Let's
About a
go
week
for
or
it.
so ago, this brother was sick and he got confirmed with the COVID, and he was locked in the basement because the rest of the family wouldn't have nothing to do with him. He was like, man, they wouldn't even send the cat, the dog, nothing down there to help him, brother. I had to call him a couple of times. Man, you all right, bro? You
Yes,
all right?
sir.
I got
Yes, sir.
nervous because I
Yes, sir.
called him and he didn't answer and he didn't call me back right away. And I got nervous. I said, man, is he all right? And then he hit me back. He said, yeah, man, since won't nobody bother me, I'm up all night and I sleep all day. And I'm like, okay, good. I felt better.
Yes,
But
sir.
I tell you, and I am, so glad to know her as well. From the doctor from Black Oaks Farms sent him a formula that he used during his shut-in. We just gonna
My
call it a
confinement.
shut-in. Yeah, we're gonna call it a shut-in. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes,
His
sir.
lockdown, while he was separated from the rest of the world.
Yes,
And
sir.
it brought him and it kept him, not brought him, but kept him on this side of life. Man, so I'm glad that you prevailed in this situation. So
Ashe.
you want to shed some light on it, and what doc recommended for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, it brought home the understanding that we are in a global pandemic, right? I mean,
Yes.
no jokes. Whatever you feel about it, whatever, conspiracy theory, who somebody made it up, somebody, whatever, it's real. It's real. Now, I have to qualify that by saying also that me going through it, and my two oldest children actually had to deal with it too, and they're fully vaccinated. Um, I would say we had mild symptoms, right? I felt like I had a really bad cold. A couple of days I was feverish, but I mean, I was not like, laid out, and I'm not trying to diminish it by any means, not at all. But but I have friends who, were sick around the same time, and they told me, man, I felt like I was swallowing sharp diamonds, and, telling me how wore out they were or whatever. So it's hitting people differently in different ways. But I am definitely thankful, thanking the Creator and all the ancestors for, looking out for me and my family. We got through it. I think all my friends that I've connected to who were sick, have gotten through it. They have said that this variant, this Omicron variant, and I don't know, I don't see anything in my test results saying if I had Omicron or Delta or whatever, but maybe they
Right.
don't tell me everything. But they are saying that Omicron is less severe, it's just more prevalent because this wave, and I use that term intentionally, is much more pervasive than what I personally experienced over the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
One of my guys, you might know him, Linnell Harris. He does a show on VON. He hit me up to this book called The Pale Rider, and it's basically a study of the Spanish flu of 1918 and a lot of the things that they dealt with these different waves and how people reacted. I mean, literally, like almost to the T about how people were refusing to wear masks and how dare you infringe on my civil liberties and all the madness that we're seeing. Not with the guns in the Capitol building, but definitely that type of
Mm-hmm.
reaction. It's almost the same. And they said, that first wave hit some people hard. Second wave hit was a little lighter, but that third wave came and crashed And that's what we're seeing in this kind of this third wave 2 years in, where everybody and their mama literally is getting sick. And
Yeah.
I can say that I know people and their mamas that have gotten sick.
Yeah.
So it ain't no joke. It's hitting. Um, the numbers that we don't again, and one of the things that just real quick, I'm not trying to sell the book or anything, but it has helped me understand this whole thing. That the numbers that got impacted by the Spanish flu are way off the charts, and we don't know nothing about it. And that was like World War I just ended, the Depression was starting, but the
100 years ago.
documentation,
100
man,
years ago.
but no one even really understands the impact of that global pandemic, which is the last time we were in this type of thing.
Right.
So it's humbling, if nothing else. It is very humbling.
Right. And the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun.
Teach.
There's a time for this and there's a time for that. There's a time to live, there's a time to die. So everything that you're speaking of is just a reiteration of it's the time for it to circle back around. And we are the ones that have to choose to live through this,
Right.
because there were those during that time that probably did not know the necessary steps in order to be able to survive. And there was a lot of
Right.
people that perished,
Yeah.
So knowing that we are in the type of situation that can easily, we can get, false sense of confidence,
That's right.
walking around talking about, oh, ain't nothing going on. Oh, this
That's
is
right.
all Trumpism, and it's so crazy. And I'm finna get real stupid right now. Here we go. In the first year of this pandemic, one of the things that they were saying was that, oh, it's a black and brown people problem. We ain't got to worry about it. Okay, because it hit our communities harder than it hit any other communities.
Right.
Okay, so they minimized it by saying, "Oh, we ain't got to worry about it. We just get rid of some black and brown skinned people, and then everything will be all right in no time." Okay,
Right.
but it got real serious when some of their grandmas and grandpas and some of their other ancestors started getting sick and not recovering because it was hitting nursing homes, wiping out, populations, and they was like, wait a minute, hold on. I thought this was a brown and black skin problem,
Right.
but now they realizing it don't make no difference what color your skin is. If you get hit with this thing and quote unquote, okay, you have underlying health conditions, you could very easily drop dead the
Yep.
same day that you test positive, because
Yep.
there have been cases of that where
Right.
people, they test positive, they go home, they don't wake up no more.
Right.
Now that's how serious this thing is. And
No doubt.
and for the last 2 years, I've been telling people this thing is not over with.
Right. It ain't
Okay.
over.
Be careful, proceed with caution, you know, and like I started out saying that, Doc, God help me with her name, man. I
Dr.
know.
Jafunza. Jafunza right. Dr. Jafunza right.
Yes, down in Black Oak Farm, she is a full-fledged medical doctor
That's right.
that operates an organic farm. And I have witnessed this lady teach, herbs
That's
and
right.
vegetables to help with all known diseases. And I'm talking about diabetes, high blood pressure, and things of that nature. And she was teaching and people ignored her. They
Yeah.
didn't think what she was saying was important at the time.
Right.
But I've had the honor and the privilege to be in her presence. So I know this woman is serious. She would
No
get in her
doubt.
car and drive. Where did she go? Montana somewhere?
Oh yeah,
Where?
she was up in South Dakota.
South Dakota. She had a
Yep.
whole practice up in South Dakota,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then come back and then work with the people here on the south side of Chicago.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Now
Yep.
this doctor sent you a prescription,
Yes, sir.
for life.
Yes, sir.
So, and it's working. I mean, it
No
worked. You
doubt.
still here.
No doubt. No doubt. No, I all praise the dude, Mama Jafunza. And and she actually survived it as well. Her and her husband actually had caught it about maybe 2 months earlier. And so one of the things that they said, that there's some things that you need to know when you're dealing with this monster, right? One of the things that she confirmed with me was the folks that are dying. One of the biggest things that they've seen in the people who have passed away from the disease is a vitamin D deficiency. So she said, you got to get your vitamin D. So that goes to the concept of being in the sun. We're seeing, for example, again, not to minimize it, but we're seeing, for example, a lot of our brothers and sisters on the continent having some of these issues. I was just talking to
Right.
us yesterday from Nigeria. He's like, yeah, we're out here, and we're out here in the heat. We eat these foods, and we're not experiencing the same way. She was concerned. She's like, man, are you okay? I'm like, I'm good, sis. I'm good. You know. So vitamin D definitely is part of their regimen. Vitamin C is definitely part of the regimen, and I mean she says dope it up, because your body can't really use too much of those two things, right? Then she also mentioned something called quercetin. She said for adults you need to be taking that 500 milligrams daily, twice a day, 500 milligrams of that twice a day. Zinc. She highlighted zinc very highly, making sure you're doing like maybe 50 milligrams of zinc a day. This thing called NAC, which I can't even pronounce it. I got the bottle, but I know it's an acronym, NAC. And she was suggested to do that at least twice daily, 600 milligrams each time. And like I said, for vitamin D, at least 10,000 international units of that daily. And she's like, just get up on the vitamin D and vitamin C. So those are the things that I was doing every day, and then there's this other thing called Scoteria. I'm gonna mess this up. Scoteria baucalensis, I think it is. That's something else that we're supposed to be taking, and an elderberry. Definitely put in elderberry. So a lot of these things are to help minimize your production of mucus, because that's really what you're talking about. It's a respiratory disease. And the respiratory disease means that you get a lot of mucus buildup because your body's trying to fight it off, and mucus is the way that your body cleanses itself. Well, if that mucus is infected in your chest, then it clogs up your chest. You can't breathe. Right. When you're short of breath, you can't breathe well, and then people literally suffocate. That's why they have to go on these ventilators. She also recommended to me, which I'm so glad I did, because it gave me some peace of mind. She said, get you what's called an oximeter, or a pulse ox, which is a pulse oximeter, which measures the concentration of oxygen in your blood.
Right. Because that's the little thing they put on your finger.
Exactly.
That checks your pulse and your oxygen level.
Checks your pulse and your oxygen. Yeah. So I got one of those. My wife picked me up one of those when she went out and did our shopping, for the whole list. And every day I'm checking that, and and it was always, they say it needs to be somewhere between, again, this is from the instructions, between 95 and 100%. Right. So if I woke up and I felt a little weird or whatever, I said, okay, let me check. All right, it's 96. Okay, all right, I'm good. And so it gave me some peace of mind, right? Now I'm doing the regimen, getting my rest, not contacting with anybody, drinking fluids, mostly water. I was drinking a lot of water. And again, I'm thankful, and again, counting my blessings and thanking, Mama Jafunza, my family, my wife especially, for looking out for me, and just trying to stay the course. And I say I'm here living to prove it today. And I also come from a biased perspective, because for me it wasn't that bad, but maybe it was all these things I was doing, right?
Right.
It was all this resting, all these because I was doing this regimen starting day 2. I was like, hey baby, can you run and get these? She came back, and here you go. I'm like, cool.
So did you have one of them little things with the string, little dumbwaiter that they roll it down to you and then roll it back up?
No, she basically, I was in a little room in our basement that as soon as I tested, because I was feeling a little feverish. This is how it happened for me. This is my experience, right? So I was feeling a little chilled, right? I was like a little cold. I'm like, why am I so cold? I got a sweatshirt on, I got a hoodie on, and I'm like, why am I so cold? So I said, let me take my temperature, and another tip. So we got one of those, little gun distance thermometers like everybody's been using, right? There you go, right? So I used that first, but then I listened to some of these commercials, and they're talking about the temporal thermometer and the gun thing isn't that you need to have contact. I was comparing, I was like, and so when I used the gun, one of the things that they had told us recently was you can take the temperature here at your wrist.
Right.
So I did that. I was like, okay. It's like it wasn't like high. It was like 98.8 or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. Did the head 99. I'm like, wait a minute, 98.8 here, but it's like 99 here. Then I did my neck. It was like 101. I was like, whoa. So there's 3 different temperature readings from that thing.
Wow.
So I was like, then on, I'm like, okay, okay, all right, no, still up there, And then when I wasn't getting a high temperature reading here, I was cool. But this wrist and this head, it wasn't feeling it, man. It wasn't getting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, I am so glad you are still here with us. You suffered. I know you suffered because I know a couple of times I talked to you and you were a little raspy.
Right,
Yeah, you're a little
yeah.
raspy.
Yep.
But for the most part, you're back now, and that's a
Yes, sir.
beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
look, y'all. I call him up. I say, hey man, you sure you want to do this show? He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
So yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And your
Thank
family's
you.
okay.
Ron, let me say again, I really appreciate you, bro. I mean, from the deepest part of my heart, man, because you, like you said, you was checking up on me, you was sick, checking in, and you okay, you okay, and I mean that meant so much to me. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest, but I'm not gonna get all teared up, I promise. But
Yeah.
when you in isolation for that,
Right.
I mean, because I wasn't seeing nobody. I mean, my wife was, knocking on the door, not even coming in the room, right? My baby, my 6-year-old was like, Baba, I miss you, and I was like, I miss you too. But for someone, like yourself, brother, to take the time out and just give me a call, text him, I really appreciate that, bro. I
Hey
just
man, it's called love, my brother.
yes, sir.
Look, it's called love. When my brother's going through something, I'm going through something.
Okay, you better teach, brother. Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna make sure that I check on you to see if there's anything I can do, words of encouragement, whatever.
Yes,
And
sir.
and I want to add to something that you said. Now you read the list that Doc gave you,
Yes, sir.
and then you spoke about like you talked to the brothers over in Nigeria,
Yes,
okay?
sir.
And they walking around, sun shining, giving them the necessary nourishment, but they don't have the extreme bad outbreak in Africa and Caribbean continents that we have here in the
Right.
United States.
Right.
And even though we have tropical climates in the southern region
South.
below the,
Mhm.
close to the Mason-Dixon line, where it's usually warm at.
Right.
But in one of the brothers, and you know him, Senna,
Yep.
is from Ghana.
Right.
And I talked to him last year, maybe 6-7 months ago, and he was telling me in Ghana they don't have large outbreaks.
Right.
If a person starts to get sick, he said that the sisters will give them some neem leaf tea,
Mm.
NEEM leaf tea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and knocks it out in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's powerful knowledge right there,
No
because
doubt.
we
No doubt.
think Western medicine is the beginning and the end all. Okay,
Yeah. Right.
I mean, we just that naive. Okay,
Yep. Yep.
but
Yep.
but they got some stuff going on across the water that is causing people to live and not die.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So I'm gonna say that again. NEEM, NEEM leaf. Okay, it comes in like a variety of different forms. You can get the oil, you can get the powder, you can get the peel, you can get the dried leaves. Well, my dumb self, let me tell you what I did, y'all. Okay, I'm finna tell on myself. True
There you go.
confessions, man. I ordered the powder. I said, well, the powder got to be concentrate, right? So I ordered this neem leaf powder, because I found it on Amazon, and Amazon, they got everything. They ain't no lie, they got everything. Well, I should have ordered the capsules, because that stuff is so nasty. On the label, it says you can mix it with tea, you can mix it with smoothies, you can mix it with your food, and you only need like, a half of a teaspoon or a quarter of a teaspoon. So I was making a smoothie one day, and I'm like, okay, perfect time to try this out. So I dumped, half a teaspoon in there. I'm thinking, oh yeah, this gonna be all right. Man, I got bananas and all kinds of stuff in my smoothie. I got, elderberry, all kinds of stuff. I'm all natural, right? I'm keeping my immune system on 10. That stuff was so horrible, brother. You talk about a taste that I will never forget. Never forget.
I heard
But
it.
something immediately started happening.
Okay.
Okay, because my sinuses cleared up, everything
Uh,
started running. I'm like, oh Lord, whatever is clearing up, I ain't got to do this no more for a while.
right.
But it's very, very strong and concentrate.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say proceed with caution.
Right.
Get you a capsule where you ain't got to taste it.
Right.
If you're gonna go that route. you
Right.
know. But I promise you, I can understand why they ain't sick over there. Because if you got to take that when you get sick,
You be
you ain't
done.
getting sick. You ain't going down to see the lady around the corner with the bushes and stuff. Because that's what they got over there in Ghana. They got a market, right? They
Right.
got pharmacies, but they got a lady in the market.
That's
And you
right.
walk up to the lady and she barely speak English. And you tell her what ails you, and then she give you a whole, a basket full of stuff. And then she said, come back in 2 hours, we prepare it for you.
Right. Right.
And then they chop it up, mix it up, put the right combination of stuff together. And brother,
There you go.
you look, ain't nothing gonna ail you. That's all I can
That's right.
say.
That's
But
right.
yeah,
That's
I
right.
just wanted to encourage people, to seek alternative, information for health.
That's right.
Don't just get stuck on Western medicine.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
because
right.
we have so many. They got the Indians, they got the Asians, they have Africans. We have so many different places that can help us, stay alive.
Right.
Okay,
That's right.
so
That's
I
right.
just want to encourage people with that.
No
So,
doubt. No doubt.
all right, so that's enough about that. Like I said, still glad you're here.
Yes, sir.
Now, you've been on the show before.
Yes, sir.
And let's take the easy route first. Let's
Okay.
talk about the chocolate.
The chocolate. Well,
What's going on?
the chocolate has actually been doing very well
Okay.
the past month or so. My girl, Mama Nzinga, out at Afriware in Maywood, has been having it at her front register. Still, retail still isn't back where it needs to be, but she was like, "Hey, chocolate's moving, chocolate's moving." I'm like, "Great, it's awesome." Actually, Senna also took some and put some out too. There you go. He had put some out as a couple spots over on the south side. Um, and then, so my wife, actually, somewhat informally, in conjunction with your guy Sam, had an event um, just recently, just here at the house. Few people, and man, it's about marketing, right? It's about getting the word out to the right people. So
Right.
all her girls are like, "Oh yeah, I want some, I want some, I want some," and so I'm like, "Okay, yeah," So I was actually able to move a few bars. Again, I have to always qualify how I say it. Talk about this. I was able to move a few pounds, a few
Right. Right.
kilos.
Right. 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 Right.
but
Right.
uh, but yeah, so it's been going well, and actually, and so I'm reevaluating, how I want to continue doing this, because my wife is like, okay, well, if you maybe because I was trying to go retail, right? I was hoping that we could get the word out and people would say, oh yeah, this is great, and that's not working out so well, because retail is mass production.
And volume.
It's
Yeah.
volume, man, volume up the wazoo. and all that. Whereas this is really niche, right? This
Right.
is craft chocolate from the continent, made from the chocolate from Ghana, cocoa coming from Ghana, manufactured. The package you're showing there, that's a custom package that they designed for their own
Right.
company. These two sisters
Right.
from 57 Chocolate. So this is a special thing. So I think I'm just going to stay in the same space, in that I'm going to have to reorder and get some more for this upcoming year. Probably see if I can't get something in time for February.
Hmm.
To
Now, just
Go
so that
ahead.
people get the idea, a bar like this would cost
So a retail for that would be $7.
seven
That's
dollars.
retail, yeah, and the primary reason for that is there's a large part of that cost in shipping.
Right.
Because I got to get it. I mean, because you see, that's a finished product. I'm not getting cocoa
Right.
and all the
Right.
ingredients and that comes off the boat, out of the package, just like that. So
Right.
that would be a $7 bar. Now people are
Right.
like, man, that's a lot of money. I can go down to Walgreens and get some Godiva for $3.50. Yeah, you can, but you're not gonna get Ghanaian chocolate. Real Ghanaian chocolate from a black-owned company based in Ghana that is supporting, our people in Ghana, supporting real farmers, not some big mass commercial farmer. You're not gonna get that. Godiva and all these other companies are getting from mass market producers,
Hmm.
probably, and I hate to say it, slave or child labor, um, and it's coming from us. It's cultural in the sense that it's coming from our culture. I'm trying to find a piece of it here. Here it is. So I think we showed this on the show before, Dr. Ron. But one of the things that because the whole concept, going back to the name of the company, 57 Chocolate. Why 57 Chocolate? 1957 was the year that Ghana, the first country on the continent, got its quote unquote independence from its European colonizer.
Right.
1957. And in that spirit, Kwame Nkrumah, who was a leader of the Ghanaian people at the time, was saying, we can do this on our own. We've been here for
Right.
thousands of years. Yeah, these people have come up and they've learned a few things. They know how to shoot a couple guns, whatever, but we can do it. And so that spirit that really he infused within the people of Ghana, they were like, yeah. I mean, they built the dam. They were on the move, right?
Yeah, he was
And
the
so,
leader of the Pan African movement.
all
Yeah.
right, that's why Ghana's seen as the capital of the
Right.
Pan African movement, right? I mean,
Right.
even if you've ever seen a group out of South Africa called the Pan Africanist Congress of Tanzania, the
Right.
PAC. Their flag is a continent of Africa, but there's a golden star right where Ghana is, saying that that's where it emanates from, right?
Right.
And so that's what Ghana became for the world, was this center of Pan-Africanism. That's why you had people like W.B. Du Bois running there. You had
Right.
Malcolm X there. I mean, a lot of people saw that's where you didn't make a pilgrimage to Mecca or to Jerusalem. You went to Ghana,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
And so these are some of the other ones. These are what are called the Ndinkra symbol ones, that, again, highlighting the culture. The Ndinkra symbols are the symbols that come from the Akan people, which are, I mean, you talk about hieroglyphics. These are deep symbols that are lessons for life, lessons for leadership, lessons for marriage and war and all these. So these are just some of the different Ndinkra symbol chocolates that they do, and I sell these as well. These are like a taster box. So
Mm-hmm.
every one of these I'm putting up here is a different flavor. And
Mm-hmm.
so on these, as hey, if you're not sure what you want, try the taster box, and then you can see this is actually a white chocolate which has no cocoa in it. This is the Duafe symbol, by the way, symbol for womanhood. And you can try it out this way, and again, you can learn a little bit about the culture at the same time, right? Like
Right.
Fat
It's an
Albert.
education. Yes. It's an
Right,
educational process. And
right.
support. You're
And
supporting, an import that's coming from, like you said, from Ghana. The ladies are putting it together over there.
yep.
And you're going through doing your part by getting it here for the educational process of helping people learn here in Chicago,
No
because
doubt.
it starts here. This is where we at.
That's right. That's
Even
right.
though Osei is an international brother, he got multiple languages under his belt. He's all over the place. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
it's so crazy. Before we went live today, he was talking to one of his children, and he's sitting up there, just fluent French all over the house. And I'm thinking to
I'm
myself,
fussing at
yeah, I
it.
was right. I was like, man, And he said, I'm trying to get some food. So I'm like, okay, help me out. You did say you wanted some soup, right?
Yeah, you was on it. You was on it.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that come from eating at them fancy French restaurants. Okay.
No, because of me living there for a year and trying to find a way, how am I gonna get a date in this place?
No, I'm talking about me,
For
fancy
you?
French
Oh yeah, yeah,
restaurants.
right,
Yeah,
right.
I understood the word soup. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but very well, spoken in multiple languages. So I'm sure your children will be very well equipped when they venture out into the world doing what they do, because
No doubt.
y'all fluent, man. I was like, wow, even the baby,
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah. The baby
even the
be talking back
baby.
to me in French. She's like, I'm like, okay, baby. All right, you go ahead. She's like, I still know what this word means. I'm like, okay, what does it mean? She's like, I was like, okay, all right, yo, you go ahead.
Yeah. So now, so the chocolate is coming back
Yep.
in 22.
22 and 122. Yep.
Okay, so you still got some left.
Got a little bit. Got a little bit left.
Okay, because I'm still looking for my Kwanzaa gift. You know how you see I slid
Well,
that
bro,
in there.
I just got off lockdown last week, bro. But I got you faded.
Yeah, because I know you were talking about, man, I'm gonna be passing all these Kwanzaa gifts. I'm like, man, I got to get over there. You know,
Man,
look, I
yeah.
got to come down to the back gate. That fortress you got down there in the city. And blow the horn 3 times and watch and see what happens.
Right. Who's that? But
Yeah.
you always welcome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now, we still got quite a bit of time left.
Yes, sir.
You want to talk about what's going on and what your projects are with the Rotary? I'm saving the Synergy for last on
Okay,
purpose.
that's all
Okay.
good. All good. All good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Rotary actually, as everybody has been, dealing with the issues, has been on a different piece. My club, which is Rotary Club of Chicago Southeast, actually we've been fairly active as a club. We actually had a number of new people come into the club in the past year, which I'm very thankful for. And actually, one of the things we did last year, which was really amazing, our president last year, she put together a Giving Tuesday campaign where we had gotten some face masks, because we were clear. A year ago, we were clear face masks ain't going nowhere no time soon. So we
Right.
went and actually contracted a sister out of Nigeria who has her own little sewing company, and she put some face masks together for us, and she shipped them over here. We got them made for very little money, and we basically said, hey, this is a fundraiser. You know you need a mask, so you might as well support us, give us some resources to do our projects, and we'll sell you these masks. So we did that. That went very well. And so this year, our president from last year actually was in Ghana. She
Mhm.
and again, she's sending pictures and showing how she's out kicking it and got her kids out the park and everything. I'm like, man, y'all ain't dealing with nothing out there, huh? So, but they're still realizing their potential. So she was able to get folks over there to make some more masks, and so we brought some more masks over here, and have those now. So we're saying, hey, support our projects. We got peace initiatives going on. The community's still working with our guy Phenom and the MC School. We got a community-based project. We just did a holiday gift drive with folks out of Morris, Illinois. We still got other projects going on. We're working with a food pantry on the south side. And so, unfortunately, in this society, you need money to run some of these things. So we said, well, how can we get some money? We got these masks with head wraps and also bow ties. I should have had one out. That we say, if you donate to our projects, we'll say thank you by sending you a mask. If you donate a little more, we'll say thank you by sending you a mask and a head wrap, or a mask and a bow tie. So we're doing that at the local level. At the regional and international level, we have some things moving, where we got our Rotary this year, July 1st. We'll be having, and I know it's going to floor some people. We'll have its first female international president ever. Rotary was founded in 1905. It is yet to have an international president who is a woman. This woman you actually met, Ron, Dr. Ron. You were on the
Oh,
stage
okay.
with her, the blonde haired woman that was at my installation that stood on, and we took pictures with her. She is
Okay.
going to be the very first woman president of Rotary International. Her name is Jennifer Jones. She is an awesome, dynamic woman out of Canada. She lives out of the Windsor area of Canada. And
Okay.
she has been a mentor to me. in Rotary. And when they finally made the decision to, push her forward, because she's done her dues, she's done the work, right? And she's always been, I don't want to be the president because I'm the first woman president. I want to be president, and I just happen to be a woman. I'm like,
Right.
Jennifer, you go, girl, you go.
Yeah.
So Jennifer will be seated as the first woman president July 1st of this year, and will serve her term 1 year. I called her when I found out, said, Jennifer, whatever you need, if there's anything I can do, Chicago-wise or whatever. Fortunately, she has some awesome people on the board with her, because another woman who was on the stage with us, Nikki, the woman who had all the African yellow and blue on,
Yeah.
she is sitting on the board now. So Jennifer will have her as a board member. And then another woman who was in the room, Pat Merriweather, who I don't know if you met or not, but she was there. She's out of Naperville. She will be moving in as a director July 1st. So there'll be 3 dynamic, awesome women who we know, you and me know personally, that are being sit on the international board of the oldest service organization in the world. So just let that sit for a second, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's big. That's big.
Yeah. That's huge. Yeah.
And what that means is they are already intimately involved in understanding some of the work that I'm doing and my club is doing here on the south side of Chicago. So I'm already hitting them up saying, okay, hey, how can we leverage this? And they're like, yeah, how can we leverage this? And so I'll put it out here. I know people who aren't in Rotary don't get into the Rotary world so much, but the Rotary has a monthly magazine that's been going out for decades. And it gets sent out to all of the membership in the world, 1.2 million members, plus other folks. This February, in a couple weeks, because the February issue comes out in a couple weeks, we'll highlight the MC School and Phenom and his program. So
All
he's
right
in
now.
a viewership of over 1 million people in the world.
That's all right.
From this article. Yeah, so that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And so we're hoping, again, how do we leverage this? How do we get people to see some of the things we're doing? How do we push? And that's probably the other side of it too, is pushing Rotary, which has historically been a very white, male, Western organization. How do we push them to move beyond this concept of doing charity work or doing good in the world, and look at more about empowerment, right? They have a Rotary. I say they, but our foundation has resources of $1 billion, has
Right.
assets of $1 billion for us to do projects. That's what
Right.
it's for. That's the only money's there. So how do we push Rotary to say, okay, all right, maybe we need a way to change the formula how we fund stuff. Maybe we need to change the way that we look at how do we do quote unquote service, right? It's not just handing out, it's a pull up, right? And how do we empower people? Part of my challenge within Rotary is to get, I'll say, our white Rotarian brothers and sisters to say, all right, I'm doing this service project in this community of Black and brown people. My end goal is not to quote unquote just make them feel good. My end goal is to make them Rotarians. My end goal is for them to have them join me, and we work together in partnership to do more of this good work.
All right. That sounds like a plan. And and I'm gonna throw this out there. If you all are interested in finding out what you can do to be a part of this organization, you by either being in the organization or supporting it financially, because they don't ask for money. It was so funny. We were at his installation at the DuSable Museum.
Right.
This is before the pandemic, y'all. Okay,
Yeah,
so
right, pre-pandemic.
yeah,
Right.
we were allowed to gather.
Right,
There were people at this event from all over the world, and I had the honor and the privilege of being the MC,
Yes, sir.
the person to introduce and to talk about some of the phenomenal things that this brother has done. And I turned to him. I think we were in the pre-interview before we even came into the auditorium. And I'm like, brother, can I raise an offering? He was like, nope, you can't do that. I said, you
Yeah.
talking about you ain't got no money? You got people in here from all over the world. Bro, I know how to raise an offering now. Let me raise this offering for you. Nope, you can't do it. And I was like, oh, man, I felt disappointed. I felt underutilized.
Well,
Because
don't get me wrong, Dr. Ron. We do ask for money, but
but you asked for it differently. Yeah.
we ask for it differently, right? We don't pass the hat. We
Right.
we, we put pressure in different ways, but yeah,
Yeah.
but I do appreciate the thought, no doubt.
Now I'm gonna we started in 21 talking to Apostle Alan Laguerre over in
Yes, sir.
Haiti.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that I have been doing is pushing here in Chicago to try and get interest in getting water to an orphanage in Marmalade, Haiti. This is in the
Mm-hmm.
mountains because you can't find water at the top of the mountain. You got to bring it up to the top of the mountain from the bottom. And they got a whole orphanage there. And I've been on conference calls with them, video calls with them, and kind of slacked off because of the holiday season. I believe Apostle Laguerre right now is back in Haiti. I've seen some videos coming out of Haiti with him, and where he's at with the children. They've got an orphanage with children they've been taken care of since the earthquake in
Mm.
Haiti, and they
Right.
need a little help. They need some water. That would be life supporting. They don't have to worry about the pandemic because they're not exposed. They're a very small, isolated community. But I'm saying publicly that I'm going to try and keep this project on the forefront of everybody's mind.
Right.
Keep conference calls going, keeping videos going. And if you are listening to this and you have a desire to want to help with this project, reach out to Osei because he's quarterbacking.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
just a PR person, but he's quarterbacking. you know, yeah, and see where you can be of influence to help this thing, get to the next step with the children. I'm talking about children now.
Right. Right. Right.
And help keep this orphanage going and help keep people alive.
No doubt.
Up at the water. That's simple.
Right. No doubt.
That
No
seems
doubt.
simple.
Right.
So we gotta make it happen. So okay, we got the update with the Rotary out of the way.
Let me do
So
something real quick before we finish that.
yes, sir.
I know you said don't touch nothing, but I got to do this.
Uh-oh.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I see you. Nope, it's on the wrong screen.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
you
I
got
don't know.
two
I don't
screens
know how to
up.
flip
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
you
don't
got
know.
the wrong screen up.
Okay, let me see.
Uh-oh. Look, I see you got me up there. Yeah, see you got two screens. So
Don't worry about it.
can you slide it over to the other screen? I don't know if you can grab it and just slide it over.
Let's see. Let's see if I can do that. I was just trying to show off the picture here with you and the future
Yeah, I see. I
president.
see. Yeah. Now guess what? Kendall Parrott just made a comment
Okay.
in the comments. He said, "My foundation would like to help raise funds."
Okay. Awesome for Haiti. All right.
Yeah, his
Okay.
foundation would like to help raise funds. And I know Kendall Perry. You've talked to him before.
Yeah.
Been a good friend of mine. We go all the way back to 75.
Right.
He's a guest,
Okay.
friend to the show. He comes on regularly. Didn't know he was listening. Glad he's here.
Mm.
As well as some of the other folks that have popped in, Paula, Denise, Box a Million down. We had him on the show last week or week before, I believe it was. Hip hop artists. So we got people listening all over the country.
All right.
So now, couldn't see the picture. I saw it up there, on the Skype, but I couldn't get it on the screen.
Right. Right. Don't worry about it.
Now, let's talk about Synergy. Now, that's
Yes,
the
sir.
information that's on the bottom there underneath your name, www.synergy.com. That is your company
Yes,
that
sir.
you've been working on for the last year
Yes, sir.
to bring clean energy, solar energy. I'm going to let you describe it.
Yes, sir. So Synergy, let me start with the name first. We say Sese, which is a Ewe word from the Ewe people of Ghana, which means power or powerful, strong. So we did a play on the word of energy and say synergy, to say powerful, or the power of energy, the strength of energy, and bound that together in our name. So in that context, we want to give the power to the people. We want you to have the power to control your energy, the power to enhance your energy, and utilizing what the Creator has already given us, meaning natural resources, meaning renewable energy and clean energy, right? So that includes things like solar. I mean, everybody, they haven't started taxing that yet. So everybody has access to the sun, especially in certain parts of the planet. We also talk about what's called geothermal energy, right? The Earth is a constant temperature, regardless of how it being, -5 degrees outside. The planet actually doesn't change its temperature too much, and you can use, by utilizing we call loops and technology, you can harness that either heat or coldness, that differential, and use technology to pressurize that to provide actually cooling or heat. And these are actually geothermal, which not a lot of people know about, is actually deemed by the Department of Energy as one of the most effective and efficient forms of clean and renewable energy out there, even more than solar. From a solar panel, you're only going to get about 20% of the actual energy that hits that panel and actually be able to convert it to electricity, whereas geothermal is like almost 3 times that. So our goal is to capture those ideas, to train people on understanding those technologies, to be able to implement those technologies in both residential and commercial settings, and also get people educated on what is energy. How do you use energy? So one of the first things we talk about in people's homes or businesses is like, okay, yeah, you can go down and get a company. You can walk into Home Depot or Lowe's, and there's a kiosk right there, and they'll say, yeah, we can put panels on your roof right now. Yeah, you could do that. But what we want you to do is say, hey, let's first look at what you're using. How do you use electricity, for example? Are you turning off all your lights? Are they on timers? Do you have smart switches? Have you even changed your light bulbs, right? You got all these incandescent light bulbs, which are like little toasters in your lamps, right? We want to go through the whole assessment process to see what you're doing and how you're using energy. And then if we can help you save money just from that regard, we can help you pay ComEd less per month, then we've done something just as a nice piece of business right there. But then after you've gotten to that point, then you can say, all right, now how can you maybe produce your own energy where you're not paying ComEd as much or not paying ComEd at all, right? If everybody remembers, back a year ago almost, Texas got hit with this terrible storm, right? And everybody had lights off, and no one had electricity, da-da-da. There are people who had solar, but because the way that solar has been sold in this country historically, their solar was useless, because most solar systems that are sold to residents, to houses, basically have to cut off when the grid cuts off, and everything cut off. The grid cut off, pumps cut off, everything. So we're like, okay, we're not going to just do that. We want you to be as autonomous as possible. So we want to help you develop a system, if you want to go solar, that's not dependent on the grid. So if the grid goes down, you can still have some lights, you can still have some electricity in your home, right? And then we also want to look at how we can, again, maybe provide you a different way of heating your home or a different way of cooling your home. And as I said earlier, we also train people. So we've already had a cohort of people go through and start their, what they call their associate certification under the National Certification Board in renewable energy, because this is the wave of the future. We talked about this in one of your previous shows. Every major auto company in the world is saying by 2030, by 2035, they're getting rid of their engines, their gas-powered engines. They're going electric, okay? Because not only is it, good for the planet, and they're not doing it for the good of the planet, let's be clear about that, but it is also more economical. It's going to be more economical, and it's going to be able to provide them other resources, other financial resources, because countries are starting to say, okay, we got to do something about this, and we will encourage companies financially in some form or fashion through carbon credits or whatever to go more green, to go more renewable, to go more clean. So that's what our company's about. So we're seeing the future. The future is now, and the future is saying, as Tesla and all these other companies are coming out with more and more electric cars, and more people looking at electricity as the primary source, how do you generate that? And solar is definitely the way of the future. In addition to, again, some of these other, like geothermal and some of these other renewable and clean energy technologies that just haven't been developed because no one's really been pushing it.
And this is not just limited to Chicago, because I see
Not at all.
Apostle Apostle Earlene Miles is on the line. She said we need that info, and she's over in Georgia somewhere.
Yes, yes, sir.
So we can take this project. You notice I said we. Uh, we can
Bro,
take
come
this
on.
project. We can take this project anywhere.
Yes, sir. Well, we already started
Internet.
conversations in Atlanta, so we've
Yeah,
already started that.
and international as well.
That's right.
So it's not just limited to creating energy in just the small little areas. We're talking about trying to make this the frontier of the future.
That's right.
This is what needs to happen now.
That's
This is
right.
an opportunity for us to look out for us.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
And
Definitely.
Synergy is the company that can help you understand and make some things happen. I've
Yes,
got
sir.
several projects on the table that I've talked to Osei about that we're going to follow up with, and
Yes,
going
sir.
forward into 22. I also, had to let him get well. I knew he was going to get well. I had to wait till him to get well, so that now that he's well, we can start following up on some of these appointments and have some of these
That's right.
conversations.
That's
So
right.
that we can keep the conversation going,
That's
so
right.
that we can, help people get the knowledge and the information to be empowered.
No doubt.
Okay. In a lot of ways, so
No
we got a
doubt.
lot of things going on. We
Yes,
got
sir.
the chocolate. If y'all like chocolate, which most women do, I know that was a very sexist statement, you know.
Shoot, I'm a chocoholic. I claim that every day. I'm a
There you
chocoholic
go.
and
So we
trying to
got,
recover.
yeah, look, we got the chocolate going on. We got the piece with the rotary going on,
So,
and I know that the ladies that are coming into office are only there for a year, so we got to get some of these projects written up and get it on their desk,
no doubt. No
so they
doubt. No
can
doubt.
start rubber stamping some stuff. Okay,
Oh yeah. No doubt. No
because
doubt.
I'm looking forward to that.
See, they ain't got to rubber stamp nothing because we know we come in with it correct, right?
Exactly.
We come in
Yeah.
with it correct.
Yeah. And look, Apostle Miles says she don't like chocolate. Okay.
Well, okay. Now, white chocolate doesn't have any cocoa in it. There's
uh,
actually no chocolate in white chocolate. It's actually cocoa butter, but there's no actual. It's not traditional chocolate. It's actually
got you, got
milk
you,
and
got you.
sugar and
It's not the refined cocoa. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we got a lot accomplished today, man. I mean, we
Yes, sir.
winding down. We got on the show
Sir.
today. So if you want more information about all the things that we talked about, his email information is on the screen, www.synergy.com. And you can also find it as a big plugger on my website on Ask Dr. Ron. Click
Yes,
on
sir.
that. It'll take you over to his web email. Reach out to him.
Yes,
He
sir.
answers the phone most of the time. You know,
Sir.
so definitely reach out to him and ask him questions on what you can do. And you can find out, how to start a project and make some things happen.
Yes, sir.
So man, I appreciate you coming on the show today, brother.
Oh, bro, anytime, man. Anytime. I love being here talking with you. I love to solve the world's problems in an hour.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yeah,
about. Yes, sir.
yeah. Well, we give them a hint. You know,
Yes, sir.
yeah, that's a beautiful thing right there.
No doubt.
So now, I always ask this question. Before we get out of here, what would you like to leave with the people before we go today?
I think again, in reflection of this past year, it has become very clear to me that we have to take control of our future and our destiny. Um, as much as we get, I mean, there's so much misinformation out here, and a lot of it, we act upon from an emotional standpoint. I just saw. I'll put this little plug in. I just saw the new Matrix movie, and a lot of people dinged it. But one of the things that drove home was that people really don't care about facts. They care about how it makes people themselves feel, and that's what they move on. And that may be good, that you can move on emotion, but if you don't have the information, if you haven't done the research, you haven't done the work, then you might be feeling a certain way because somebody wants you to feel a certain way. And that's
Wow.
really what the film talks about, is how do we manipulate people's feelings to get them to want to stay in basically the matrix, stay in prison, right? And so it's incumbent upon us to seek out the information, to discern multiple perspectives, and then be able to say, okay, we've done the research, we've done the work. It's time for us to move forward with the information that we now have.
All right now. Hey man, thank you. I appreciate you. Gonna come see me again?
Of course, brother. Of course.
All right. Well, look, you stay right there. We're gonna get us out of here for the day.
Yes, sir.
Once again, I want to thank my brother, for surviving and coming back to be with us. And we're gonna keep on encourage him to survive. Okay. We got a lot of work for him to do, and we do not want him to get out of here prematurely. Okay.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yeah. So let's run over here. I'm gonna put this up on the screen. You all, this is the donation information. Please make contributions. I want to thank everybody that made contributions in the year 21. We still need your support. Without you, we cannot do what we do here. Please go over to the website, ask-dr-ron.com. Check out everything that's going on the website. If you want to make contributions through the website, you can. Check out all of my social media. Go to the top. You'll see Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll see my YouTube channel. Click on it. Subscribe. Okay? Like and share. Hit the notification button. Every time we post something on the site, you will be notified. So you'll be first to know what's going on. I want to thank you all for tuning in and checking out what we do here on the Ask Dr. Ron show. I love you. Please stay safe and see y'all next